Hey class, I'm Colin Wagner. So a little bit about me. I love God, family, and country. So it makes me a Christian, husband, father, and U.S. Army warrant officer. I have a beautiful wife named Christy. I have five amazing children named Sam, Ben, Abby, Ellie, and Noah. And then we have a fluff butt, which is a red, our golden retriever. And then also we have the fortunate pleasure to live in Hawaii. So starting off with my name, my first name is Colin and is derived from English and Gaelic origins, which means a mixture of victory and or whelp slash pup. What I was able to find in research was that it is like a combination of both. So usually meaning that the young whelp, usually meaning like a young boy or whatever was the victory of the family, and I kind of see that as like um, in the army, you always measure the potential of a person you're reviewing, and so it's kind of like the potential of the family to be great, right? The youth that's coming from that young boy or I guess pup in this other sense of, it's the potential for that family to be great, right? Representing the youth or whatever. I don't. And then my last name is Germanic and Jewish, means wagon maker. So Wagner, wagon maker, makes sense. Wagon driver. And then just a fun little anecdotal story is I was able to travel to southern Germany there for a 6 month rotation, and I was able to, on my own time, travel to a few different small villages in southern Germany there and look up local records and find uh, the ancestral documents uh, for if anybody has any ancestry.com type accounts. That's what I was doing. I was trying to find the local records for that. But it was pretty cool to go back to the areas that my family's from and walk where they walked and see the buildings that are, most of those are still the same ones, just maybe renovated. That definitely the old stone well that I saw there that had different um, stones mortared together. And then just it was kind of cool, right? There's a specific church we went into that had this uh, little accordion type toy. The guy said that was for kids. They pull on the string and play like a series of notes that you'd see on like a flute, like one of those wooden flutes. So it was just kind of a cool experience to be able to go and where my ancestors were for like I don't know a couple centuries ago. Um, and then for this course, um, I signed up for it because I needed to for to finish my minor requirements, but also out of all the ones I could have picked, it seemed the most interesting. My job is heavily involved with technology, and um, I like learning about the advancements in technology from a historic perspective. Things that have really advanced our culture and the advancements of human uh, uh, technology. But also, as another student pointed out, was the um, maybe the disadvantages or the negative connotations and like straight first thing that came to mind was like nuclear bombs. Um, the potential to have just catastrophic loss of life, and so um, disruptive can mean a lot of different things. Does it completely change how we run our, country, or, something as simple as uh, GPS, right? Timing and location. All of your banks run off of that. If they don't have GPS, no transactions happen. Things of that nature. Um, that would be very disruptive, right? All of the all of the banks have to transfer with it. Now that wasn't like a overnight thing. It took a while, but can you imagine if we lost that capability? That'd be very disruptive, right? Whatever capability took that away that maybe had been advanced. Not terribly difficult, but um, that's kind of what I wanted to learn about from this course. There's a lot of different ways to go into it. Another thing that I would be very interested in learning is, just the advancements in something like quantum physics. I've been very interested in. I see it as the great space race of our time. Uh, and the nation or nations that crack that nut is I is going to have a technological advantage over everybody else. And so um, we'll see if they crack that nut in our lifetime, or maybe it's a couple generations from now. Um, they know how to do a few things, but they don't know how it works. So, for example, they can send a few bytes of information from one end of the earth to the other. They don't know what happens in between connection A and connection B, but they know that it happens. Um, and granted, that's a few bytes, not we're not talking gigabytes or anything like that. But I mean, that's the starting block, and so it's fascinating to see all of those advancements come to fruition with what was largely considered like fairy tale theory in the scientific realm is now starting to uh, come into real world, right? We can actually see the effects of it. But yeah, if you want to be completely baffled and like your brain hurt, just go start researching that stuff because it does hurt the brain a little bit. But yeah, I just want to learn about things I haven't learned of. That's always fun for me. Um, Learning about things you haven't learned about. There's so many different perspectives out there in the world, and coming to a university where we can get a whole bunch of different perspectives and interests, and you can get exposed to something you haven't learned before, or maybe look at a problem set that you haven't thought about in a that way before. And yeah, so I'm excited to work with y'all and have fun.